So tell me, uh, you talked about the why the metrics of success need to evolve. Why? From what to what?
How do we measure success as a
Okay.
as a society, right? And I'm going to bring it to tech,
Yeah.
not to any other space because technology is too big. I mean, because society is too big. What makes you say a person is successful? Is it because they have money? Or is it because they live in a good house? Or the startup has helped them buy a car, right? We,
Mm,
we would not look at that as a metric of success in the
mm,
Western world. We need to understand that when people build startups, even if they are women or non-women or men, the metric of success that determines whether they get funded, they get to scale, or they grow has to be something that comes from a different space, a space where I am not hungry.
okay.
So if I can touch, even if it's 5 lives with my technology, you are doing coaching, you are successful. If one of the persons you coach is able to sleep well at night, that's
Mm,
success.
mm,
So when people build startups in Africa, we need to re-examine what that means to be successful. Is it when you get $100 million from Silicon Valley, or is it when you actually change the life of a Nigerian, right? And I always, my most recent example has to be Opay. Opay is actually making impact in the lives of people. Yes, they
okay.
had a lot of money to do that because the fintech, financial technology platforms or infrastructure rather in Nigeria was really bad. You make transfers, it get lost in the void. You never get your money back. You can't even complain. If you go to PCCP, nothing happens.
Mm,
So they had to invest in that infrastructure. But when that money started producing results where I can transfer money to you now and you get it on the spot, the way
yeah.
it works in every other developed country. People have peace of mind. I can actually do business. An Uber driver. I remember how I used an Uber one day some years ago, and it took me calling the my VC, what they call him, VP, vice president of
Yeah.
the organization I was going to actually pay this guy so that he can go. Because if he leaves, he's afraid that he wouldn't see my brake lights.
Mm,
So imagine just to pay an Uber transaction, you had to go
yeah.
all the way to a vice president of a multinational. That's embarrassing. So we need
Yeah.
to decide what success is. It's very important because then it impacts what you build. Going back to the rent seeking. So if success for me is that every transaction that anybody makes in Nigeria, I get 5 naira from it so that I can then solve all my family issues, then I can say I'm successful. Wahala good day.
Mm,
But if success for me is that this woman that did not know her left from her right, by using my technology, she's able to sell to more people. She's
yeah.
able to solve problems. She's able to even then export. I'm great. I've succeeded. And you know what? Reason why I always focus on women is that women, once you change the lives of, once you change the life of a woman, the economy of that family unit changes, the economy of the extended family unit changes, and then society changes. So
Mm,
it's always a star. Once you do one woman, it's a star that spreads out. So we want to touch more women and help them as well define what success is.
okay.
That's how I think we should start defining success. Success shouldn't be defined by how much venture capital you get. The
Okay.
guy who has Telegram. go and ask him what success is for him.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, I think.
Okay. I get you. I get you. I mean, the success in the tech space, of course, need to be defined by money for a reason, because a lot of funds are being invested in a solution. And if the solution is not adopted by enough people, right, to bring back the funding, that solution would not go far.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, once you decide that for me to be successful, my technology has to change lives,
Yeah.
there's rarely a time where you don't get returns. And there's so many examples. We can start with Apple. Steve Jobs' goal was that I want to change the way people interact with computers.
Yeah.
And then it graduated into phones. I just want a phone that has only one button. The same thing happened with the Paystack guys. Before I got into this whole world, I used to create websites, right? And I remember one time where somebody asked me to do an e-commerce website. An e-commerce website, you need to pay, make it,
A payment platform. Yeah.
integrate a payment
You need to link it to a payment. Yeah.
Yes. In those days, and when I say in those days, it's not the 1990s, I'm talking 2014. I went to GT Bank, and GT Bank told me I had to bring my entire source code. Then for them to then insert their own payment link in it, GT Pay back then. And that was the end of that project before Paystack came in. And when Paystack came in, lives changed. More e-commerce happened.
Yes.
People started selling all sorts of things with just a link. And and Paystack was just a replication of Stripe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what when you focus on making life easier, when you truly innovate, that's what I'm saying. The fintech space in Nigeria, nobody's innovating anymore.
But see, but the point
Changes
is that
lives. Yeah.
the point is that
Yeah.
before Paystart came on board, there have been so many other solutions that didn't meet the criteria to move forward.
Because you don't have the skill.
Yeah. Okay. So see, every successful solution that we see today, there are maybe 100 that failed.
That failed. I agree.
Good.
And you know what? Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Like even Apple, Steve Jobs, they have tried so many things before they got something.
Yes, it will fail, but your goal doesn't change. Your goal, your means will fail. The means to goal will change, will fail sometimes, and you get one right out of 100. But the real essence of what you're trying to do doesn't change. It's the same. To make life easy, maybe in fintech, in technology, in how you cook, gas cooking or whatever, from firewood to this to that, that essence, the essential thing does not change. But the means to it, some will fail.
Good.
Yeah. So what define that essence as, if I get this essence right, that is success for me.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Thank you for helping me explain that clearly.
Yeah. I mean,